Hey guys, Sam here, and yep, here's another love-centered review for the month of love, and this time it won't be a big major introduction because I think you guys know what Fairly Odd Parents is. You know, the show where it stars an average kid who nobody understands that gets two fairy godparents. And of course, all the adventures that ensue from there. And of course, like many people, I believe that the show did start out good. It definitely was a big part of my childhood, but after a while, the show did become shit. And it lasted for far, far, far too long. Well, at least it was able to end with some dignity left. Okay, maybe a hint of it. Okay, maybe none at all, but at least it ended. But anyway, let's go back to a time where Fairly Odd Parents was good. Let's say season 1, back when the writers cared about, staying with the mythos and lore. When they actually cared about making the characters likable. Back where they cared about trying to make the episodes funny and interesting and entertaining, and also back in a time when Cosmo's voice didn't make people's ears bleed. And an episode that has that, along with the lovey-dovey stuff, is Apartnership. Yep, it's an episode that highlights Cosmo and Wanda's relationship. How is it? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. And before I get started, you already know the drill by now. Summary first, thoughts after. Okay, let's get started. So we find out that not only is it Timmy's parents' anniversary, but it's also Cosmo and Wanda's anniversary. Turns out they've been married for nearly 10,000 years. And for this year's anniversary, there is a specific theme. What kind of theme is it? Well, it involves styrofoam. Sure, why not? It's better than doing other things. Well, anyway, Cosmo was able to set up the entire room to look like styrofoam, and Timmy was able to actually help out too by distracting Wanda. How? Well, Timmy gave Wanda a challenge to tame and make a cat obey her commands. It doesn't work out. Well, anyway, Cosmo is absolutely excited to see Wanda's face when she sees the room. But instead, he gets a very grumpy Wanda, very tired, very angry, noticeably beaten up by the cat. But when Cosmo tries to cheer her up, Wanda sicks the cat on Cosmo. Then she goes into the fishbowl and throws out the styrofoam photo that has both her and Cosmo on it. This just absolutely crushes Cosmo, to the point where he decides that he doesn't want to do any more anniversaries with her ever again. So he decides to go back to his mother, Mama Cosma. But just when he leaves, Wanda immediately comes back out feeling cheerful. Huh? Well, turns out that she was doing the false anger anniversary, and she says that everybody knows that. Well, apparently Cosmo didn't know that. So Timmy explains what happened, and Wanda is absolutely shocked. Turns out that, well, they have a bit of history, and turns out that the mother doesn't know that Cosmo and Wanda had been married for nearly 10,000 years. The reason? Well, Cosmo said that he was going out to get milk, and he never returned. Okay, as funny as that excuse is, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean, we find out later that Mama Cosmo is definitely a helicopter parent, very protective and all that kind of stuff. So, with all that, wouldn't there be a moment where she would think to herself, it's been a while since Cosmo has come back. Did he lie to me? I'm just saying. Anyway, Cosmo tells Mama Cosma that, well, they did get married behind her back. And Mama Cosma very clearly does not like Wanda. It's very clear. So anyway, Mama Cosma actually slams the door in Cosmo's face at first. But when Cosmo poofs up some milk, Mama Cosmo goes, "Oh, hey, come on in." And she introduces him to two girls that she tried to set up for him. And she also even gives Cosmo some "I rather dislike Wanda" cookies. That's both very creative and very funny at the same time. Anyway, Timmy and Wanda get to Fairy World, but it's clear that it took a lot of effort from Wanda, as, well, it's easier when both her and Cosmo are together, but when it's just by herself, it tires her out a lot more. So she uses whatever magic she has left to take them to Mama Cosmo's house. They get to the house, open the door, and catch Cosmo eating the "I rather dislike Wanda" cookie. This does not make Wanda happy at all, and Cosmo and Wanda eventually get themselves into a magic fight. At one point, Wanda gets turned into a hippo, and Mama Boy Cosmo gets turned into a literal Mama's Boy. And throughout the entire magic fight, Timmy is watching the entire thing with the other girls, but then he accidentally gets turned into a toilet. That's where he has his breaking point. He goes, "Okay, that's it. This is ridiculous. You shouldn't be fighting each other. You chose each other over everyone else in the world. And I believe that if you actually had the opportunity to fall in love with each other again, you would." But Mama Cosma takes those words as a challenge. So she sets Cosmo and Wanda up in some kind of dating game show, which is hosted by Cupid. And I believe this is probably his very first appearance in the show. Anyway, Timmy thinks that, okay, maybe this will actually be okay. But he finds out from Mama Cosma that she bribed Cupid to make sure that Cosmo would never get with Wanda. Now Timmy is worried. And not just that, but he's also worried about his parents. Turns out that he was supposed to make the anniversary dinner, and right now the parents are really impatient, especially the mother. And, well, if Cosmo and Wanda don't get themselves back together, Timmy doesn't have a way back home. So anyway, during the game show, Cupid gives Cosmo some very specific questions that really make Wanda look bad. But not only does Wanda admit that turning Cosmo into a mama's boy was harsh, even though she did say it was funny, she also explains that it was the false anger anniversary, and Cosmo does listen to her. So it looks like Cosmo and Wanda are about to fall in love with each other again. So Mama Cosma bribes Cupid with even more money to make sure that doesn't happen. But then Timmy gets an idea. You see, in the game show, when, the lucky bachelor ends up picking the one that he wants, they get struck by these golden love arrows, which binds them together. So Timmy snatches the love arrows and shoots one at Cupid, making him fall in love with Mama Cosma. And this leads to Cupid chasing after her. Yeah, insert sexual harassment joke here. Anyway, Timmy disguises himself as Cupid and gives Cosmo a very specific question that Wanda can definitely answer. It basically is, well, if we had this big gigantic fight, what would you say? And the first two girls bomb the answer by saying red. I'll explain why that makes no sense in a moment. But Wanda gives the best answer. She apologizes and is thankful to be his wife. And yet, things ended up working out. Cosmo ends up choosing Wanda over the other two girls, which again does not make Mama Cosma very happy at all. But now you have to wonder, wait, why does Mama Cosma hate Wanda so much? Well, it's not really about Wanda per se, it's really just about, she doesn't want to give Cosmo up to anybody else. She doesn't want anybody to take her Cosmo away, and that's why she wanted to set him up with these two other girls, who turn out to be robots. Yeah, again, if they were robots, why would they just say red? Wouldn't you program, a good chip in their brains that would actually, answer the... Never mind. Anyway, Mama Cosmo starts insulting Wanda very harshly, but Cosmo steps in and defends her. And you know what? I should probably let this clip play out.
Let's get something straight. I'm not bright. Big words confuse me. I have the attention span of a rodent. And Wanda loves me anyway. She makes me happy. And that should be enough for you.
Aww. That is one of the best moments in the entire show. Definitely one of the best Cosmo and Wanda moments. He knows he's not the smartest, and yet Wanda still loves him anyway, and that's true love right there. So Mama Cosma is seemingly moved by this, not realizing that, Cosmo loved her that much. But she says she's not gonna stop trying to break them up either. But she'll have to do it another time because, well, she's still dealing with Cupid going after her ass. So Mama Cosma gets chased off by Cupid, Timmy wishes for all of them to go home, Timmy at the last moment makes the anniversary dinner, and just when it looks like the mother and father don't really want to eat it, Timmy uses the love arrows to make them love it. And of course, Cosmo and Wanda give each other a nice little anniversary smooch. The end. So there you go, that's a partnership. What are my thoughts? Well, to put it simply, it's pretty good. Good humor, good animation, especially for season 1, and again, I think it's a really good Cosmo and Wanda episode. Obviously, people really don't like Cosmo too much because they do find him an annoying twit, but again, back in the early days, even though he was not the brightest bulb in the shed, he at least still had a brain, he still had a conscience, he still had feelings, he actually did understand other people's feelings, even if, well, once in a while he may actually be a little dim-witted, and I never really could understand why they made his voice more high-pitched. I mean, if you look at Cosmo at the pilots with, with Mary Kay Bergman and even Tara Strong when she dubbed them over, and of course even in season 1, the voice they had there was fine. Why did they need to really pitch it up more? Do people really think that the more high-pitched you are, the funnier you are? Because let me tell you, that's not really a sure formula to get laughs. I'm just saying. Okay? Just because you can make someone's pitch much higher than it really is, doesn't mean it will get you a lot of laughs. It will get you a lot of people that will say, hey, shut up. So anyway, I really did like this episode. Sure, there are a couple things that don't really make too much sense, and out of all the episodes, it's not exactly the funniest or one of the best. I wouldn't exactly put this as a top 10 worthy episode, but it's still good. It's a nice Valentine's Day episode. It definitely highlights Cosmo and Wanda in a really nice light. And again, it's just a really nice episode all the way through, a really entertaining watch. And if I had to give it a final score, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I do recommend it, especially if you want to see good Fairly Odd Parents episodes. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much the review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the entire month of love. And if you did, give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, my name is Sam, and good night, everybody.